That's a wrap, man. The Arizona Cardinals take their first dub of the season. It comes in preseason. The game is a little worthless. I know. Let's go ahead and talk about it, though. There's positives, there's negatives. We got a lot of things to discuss, man. I know a lot of you guys have a ton of stuff on your mind right now. You want to spill it in the comments, so go ahead and do that right now. Spill all those comments before I deep dive. I don't want you guys to just copy and paste. Give me your own thoughts. Give me your own insight, and I'm going to go ahead and spill for y'all like I always do. But if you're new to the channel and end up enjoying today's video, man, consider hitting that subscribe button. So close to 9K. Much love from me to you. You guys are going absolutely insane and bananas with the videos, man. So appreciate you guys for showing so much love. But let's go ahead and dive into this, man. There's a lot to talk about. Let's start here. Patrick Mahomes. We start the opening kickoff with a Greg Dortch fumble. That boy Patty Mahomes comes in and throws a dino, going 1 for 1 on a fade, and yeah, that ends his day. 1 for 1, just perfect. You gotta love it. Cardinals football's back, man. The opening fumble kickoff. We're gonna go ahead and talk about you, Greg. You're not safe, buddy, but it was just a terrible start to the game. Absolutely terrible. And then it starts off with this. Kyler Murray just throws the most egregious interception you have ever seen in your entire life. I have no idea what this was, assuming he was intending to hit Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride's defender just peeled off and picked it, but it's not even close to Marvin Harrison Jr. So I really don't know where this is going to. Just insane decision-making. But Kyler had only one incompletion after this, and this was it. Had a perfect day, so I'm not mad necessarily, just confused because Kyler, what are you doing? It is what it is, though. Kyler, pretty solid day. I'm not going to sit here and just give you flack for that. It was a bad throw, terrible decision. One of the worst you're probably going to see in the NFL that needs to be cleaned up. It has been a continuous mistake, but that's why you play him in preseason, because mistakes like that happen. Correct yourself, and we'll be good, and I am okay. Let's talk about the running back group. That boy Trey Benson was getting a heavy workload. James Conner is assuming, or at least I'm going to assume, is going to get the majority of the workload in 2025, probably 60%, 65, 70%, 60 to 70, somewhere in that range is my guess. But Trey Benson typically comes in every second down to get that second carry, and then James Conner's that third down guy, unless it's third and long, with Amari DeMarcado, because he's such a good pass protector, gets the slack. But this is Trey Benson's first. Oh my gosh, I can't speak English. Just look at the column right here. This is Trey McBride with the first team. He had a ton of freaking rushes, and he was going crazy today. He looks explosive. He's hitting holes strong. I love everything I'm seeing from Trey Benson because it looks like what we saw in the second half of last year. He just continued to improve, worked with James Conner. Also got this screenshot off of somebody. I don't know who screenshotted this, but thank you. If you highlighted this in red, go ahead and drop a comment if you're watching this video, man. Appreciate you. But Trey McBride, oh my gosh. Trey Benson, Trey McBride. If I mess up one more time, man, I'll shave my mustache off. I'll shave it off. Trey Benson looked phenomenal, though. I love everything we saw from our running backs. Amari DeMarcado, too. Fantastic football. He looked great. Let's talk about him. Doing it in the receiving game. Doing it in the running game. Amari DeMarcado can do it all. Picked up a really nice, impressive first down, and in the receiving game, led us in yards today. Jacoby Brissett also looked fantastic. It's nice to have a competent backup to elevate your guys. So if Kyler does go down or were to go down with an injury, which knock on wood doesn't knock him out for the season, which it probably won't because Kyler Murray's going to win MVP. Yeah, I mean, you guys know I've been on that. I'm not on that anymore. Honestly, I know what I'm getting from Kyler Murray. I think he's kind of peaked. We've seen his peak, and he can play top 8 quarterback football, but that's about as good as it's going to get, and he probably stays in like the 8 to 15 range, and that's kind of what you get from Kyler Murray. And sometimes he has those games where you're just like, what are you doing? Or this pass is like, what are you doing, like we saw today? But Kyler Murray's still a really good quarterback, but if Jacoby Brissett were to come in, I don't think I would hate my life, and we would be in a good spot. Xavier Weaver also looked insane today. I love the fact that he got a freaking touchdown today because I want him to snatch Greg Dortch's chain so bad. Greg Dortch is too tiny to be on that field right now. He's 5'7", and he's muffing freaking kickoffs. I understand. Or not muffing. I guess he just fumbled it. But he's fumbling the ball. You can't do that. We're going to talk about that right now, Greg Dortch. What are you doing? Not the only one, because DJ Dallas did the same thing. He's going to have a tough time making the roster, and I believe he has 2 years left on his contract. We signed DJ to a 3-year deal. Don't know what we were really doing there. But, like, at the end of the day, our returners need some help. We need some competition. Go ahead and bring some people from other camps in to compete, because that is unacceptable. Or maybe you let Xavier Weaver continue to fight for that spot. That is something that would be pretty solid, not going to lie. Let Xavier Weaver come in and let him make some noise. Honestly, if I were the head coach right now, Xavier Weaver, you are starting kick returner and punt returner for the rest of the preseason. It's your spot to earn. Greg Dortch is probably on the bubble right there. Like, I'm going to give him the edge over DJ Dallas. I'm ready to cut DJ Dallas, honestly, and either roster Michael Carter or Zonovan Knight, who looked really good and in training camp has insane footwork and speed. I like Zonovan Knight a lot. Looked great today. I believe he had the most yards today for a running back. So at the end of the day, I would like to see a lot more from Zonovan Knight too and Michael Carter and let them kind of compete. DJ Dallas, I'm not sold whatsoever. So we'll see if Jonathan Gannon and Monty Austin-Fort do what I would expect them to do. Also, this is a very, very tough roster to cut. Tip Ryman played absolutely fantastic football today. As a blocker, as a receiver, I love his game so much. I think he is absolutely phenomenal, and everything he did today, just chef's kiss. Also, let's go ahead and talk about the defensive side of the ball, because like I said, it is a tough roster to cut, and where it's going to be tough to cut from is your cornerbacks. You have guys like Elijah Jones, Denzel Burke, Darren Hall, you have Cottrell Clark, all fighting for a spot on this roster. I think your top three guys in Garrett Williams, Will Johnson, and then Max Milton, those are your starters guaranteed. Cottrell Clark is that fourth guy that I think is kind of etched in there. He's kind of solidified. But then outside of that, I think everything else is up in the air. Darren Hall in 2024 just continued to show off his skills. And then he gets this interception today where he just absolutely gets a beautiful interception. And he just continues to make a name for himself. It's hard to cut a guy like this who just continually shows up when his name is called. And he was a surprise to make it in 2024. But when you just make plays like this and your name is always called, it's hard to just want to get rid of you. Because like Jonathan Gannon always says, I'm not in the process of getting rid of good football players. And Darren Hall is a really good football player. He's very solid, and I think he would surprise a lot of people if he made the roster this year just because we took Denzel Burke, had Elijah Jones on the third round. But, like, man, it's a tough one to freaking do because if you're making plays like this, it's tough. Also, Keaton Crawford had an interception today. Ridiculous high point right here. And he's a great special teams player as well. And how you make your name known in the NFL is by special teams. If you're going to get interceptions like this, like I said with Darren Hall, it's tough to get rid of you. If you can make plays on special teams, you might find your name on that roster. But we have Joey Blunt. It's tough. Keaton Crawford, great interception. But, you know, he might be someone that is just, unfortunately, because the Cardinals built their roster so well, just a cut candidate. And that might be the result of just building your team out really well. And that is Amani Austin-Fort and Jonathan Gannon. Kudos, because they look great. Also, Mac Wilson, when he is in the game, just makes plays. This is his first year with the green dot. Can't wait to see what happens in 2025. I think he's going to have an exceptional year. He's way better than Kazir White at coverage. He's way faster, quicker, and he gives you more versatility in the pass rush. And everything that Mac Wilson does is going to be very interesting. I think Nick Rallis is really happy with that decision. There's a reason Kazir White's not back still. And Akeem Davis-Gaither, I think, is going to be that other outside, or the other starting outside of him in the inside. And then you have people like Cody Simon, who I think is good depth. He's a very smart football player. The reason they won the national championship. Cody Simon has that championship pedigree. We draft from the same two colleges over and over and over again. So, hey, I'm not mad at it because we're bringing in great football players. Denzel Burke and Cody Simon played at the same college. Guess what? Both solid football players. Love what we did there. We built this roster perfectly. I'm a huge fan of it. Also, Jordan Birch had 2 sacks negated, but I was watching the game, and I'm giving him a huge shout-out right here. Big physical player, was getting pressure on the quarterbacks. Bailey Zapp had no chance when he was in the game, and he was giving those tackles HE-double hockey sticks, but he was giving them problems. Jordan Birch, fantastic. Great outing. Dante Stills, there's a reason on the defensive line why he was leading this team in sacks in 2024, because his name is always called. He just makes plays. He's a guy who's probably a lot to make this roster. I love everything Dante Stills is doing. Fantastic game by him. LJ Collier, same thing, had a sack today, but outside of that, he's just in the backfield getting pressure. Love this defensive line. Love the edge unit. Maybe we need a little more help at edge, but the interior looks fantastic. I love everything I'm seeing from them, and they look pretty dang good, man. I'm very happy, but like the concerns, return game. Greg Dortch, DJ Dallas, that was not a good outing. DJ Dallas might be on the way out. Greg Dortch, he's probably not going to get demoted from the receiver slot position, but if it happened, I wouldn't be mad if Zay Jones or Xavier Weaver kind of came in here and snatched that chain off. Don't think it's going to happen, like I said, but it would be very beneficial for the run game because we would have a big guy to actually come in here and block. Weaver is 6'1". Zay Jones, I don't know his exact height. Somewhere in the range of 6'1" to 6'3", I believe. Zay Jones, bigger body, and I think a better receiver. He's a veteran as well. And you can keep Greg Dortch for the snappy plays or whatever and keep him in the slot because he is a speedster. But at the end of the day, would not be mad. Also, Budda Baker, this is probably something just a lot of you guys are going to hate me because everyone loves Budda Baker. But Budda Baker was struggling to win one-on-one reps at all. Did not win a single one in training camp against Trey McBride. And today, kind of got torched a little bit on like a corner, I believe. I don't know the exact route, but it was on the left sideline. Budda Baker gave up a big play when the Cardinals' first team was in against Gardner Minshew. And I'm not really worried, but his coverage is not his strong suit. He's a run support safety, great instincts, great football player. I'm not worried about it. I'm just saying the coverage has not been fantastic in training camp. So if that translates into this year, just, don't be surprised. But I would say that Kyler looked amazing outside of that egregious decision. That is a very contradictory statement. I understand that. That pick was terrible, one of the worst throws I have seen in a long, long time. But he looked sharp, looked solid, and once he was comfortable, was good. You can't have those interceptions, and if you do in the regular season, then you got problems, because those are game-changing plays. You can't have those. You got to erase them, make those mistakes now, so you don't make them later. Trey Benson and Amari provide insane depth for us. James Conner is going to be actually able to take time off and still be that workhorse. You can push him towards the back end, and in the playoffs, when we do make it, because we're going to make it this year, there's no ifs about that. When we make it, we're going to have running backs. Tip Ryman, also just insane football player. We mentioned that in the blocking game, the receiving game. I love everything we're doing. Drew Petzing is getting creative, motioning him in as a fullback, keeping him as a tight end. He's a better receiver than a lot of us thought, better than I thought. I was listening to the draft day narratives and I watched him play for the Cardinals. Has way better hands than given credit for. The depth at O-line, I would say our first and second unit look good, besides the fact that they let Jacoby Brissett get absolutely drilled on his first drive. Outside of that, they protected him. They did well, and they kind of settled in a little bit. Special teams, we need to bring competition in. That is unacceptable to have 3 muffs, 1 on the punt, 2 kickoff fumbles. That's not allowed. Can't do that. That is absolutely unacceptable. Pressure on the opposing quarterbacks. We're getting back there in the edge and through the line. That is what you love to see. We actually have depth there. Going to be very nice for us, honestly. And the corner battle is going to be tough. You're going to have a very tough 53 to just cut down to in general. I'm not going to be surprised if Jonathan Gannon sits at one of these pressures and he's talking about how difficult this is going to be. And this is one of the hardest rosters to cut down to 53 because we have so much talent, because we do. And that's just the unfortunate case about building a good football team. But I'm very excited for 2025. This is a very decent outing. I wouldn't say it was fantastic. That Kyler pick had me a little worried, but then he came back and bounced back in the second drive, got us 3. And all is fine for me. I think it was a solid outing. It is a win. A win is a win. 20-17. Let's go Cardinals. Chiefs fans, let me know what you saw down in the comment section below. I think that they are going to be a very solid football team in 2025. Probably an 11-12 win football team. Patrick Mahomes got the haircut. I think he's going to have an MVP kind of season. And I think the Chiefs are going to be just fine like they typically are. They're not here to lose games. But with that being said, that is going to wrap it up. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, consider hitting that subscribe button. We're on the road to 9,000 subscribers, so let's hit that before the 2025 season begins. But appreciate you guys for tuning in, man. It's much love. It's been your boy Mythic. Peace out.